Hello everyone, I am Dhruv, and today I'll be presenting my Pokédex application, comprehensive Pokemon encyclopedia, built using React for the front end and Node.js plus Python for the backend. This project showcased my skills in full stack development, AI, API integration, and UI UX design. So this is the repository for the Pokédex application. So the Pokédex allows you to search Pokemons by name and IDs. View detailed information about it, including the abilities and evaluation, and filters also the Pokemon by its type. The application is deployed on the Netlify. So the application is deployed on the Netlify, and the backend is particularly deployed on the render. So let's have a look at the application. So this is the application I've built. So you can see the Pokédex has a lot of Pokemons to show. You can reload and have a look at all the other ones too. So if you click on one of the Pokemon, so you get to see the stats of that particular Pokemon. And if you wait for few seconds, you will have a description also loaded. Built with React, the front end is designed for responsive and user engagement. The application utilizes React routes for navigation, Axios for allowing the API requests, and React Hood for state management. So if we check the responsiveness of the website, if we check the responsiveness of this website, so you can see that the website is built in such a way that it allows a particular grid. And if we go for the let's say Samsung Galaxy A24, you will have a display somewhat like this. If you click on one of the Pokemon, so you will get the description of that particular Pokemon. Here it is. So the backend architecture for this particular application is this. So if you check, front end uses a React application which is hosted on Netlify, which is hosted continuously deployment is connected to my GitHub repository. The changes I made in my GitHub repository get directly posted on Netlify. When the API from the front end request the Node.js file to give me information about the Pokemon from the API, Pokemon API, that basic deployment first goes for the PokéAPI to fetch the Pokemon data. Once the Pokemon data is fetched, I give that particular Pokemon data to the Python integrated file. The Python integrated file basically has an AI application where it extracts more information about the particular Pokemon, and that particular thing is then structured into a description, and that description is also returned to the JSON file into the JSON file is returned into the Node.js file, and the Node.js file then returns the data to the React server, which is then displayed on the front end. So we have used Axios for allowing the API calls to the backend API call and front end API call to communicate with each other. The backend is basically deployed on render for the seamless integration with Netlify. So we can have a look at our backend. So basically backend is deployed on this particular render. So you can see the logs of the backend. If we speak about the code quality, the code base adheres to the best practices, including modular component designs, reusable functions, and clear naming conventions. ESLint and Prettier are the configured code quality and consistency across the project. And if we speak about the challenges I faced during this project, the only one challenge was integrating the Python script with the Node.js server. I overcome this by adding a child processor module in the Node.js to spawn the Python processor, allowing seamless communication between the two. The approach ensured that the application fetches and displayed data on the Pokemon description effectively. In the conclusion, the Pokédex application demonstrated my ability to build full stack application integrating third-party APIs and deploy them on a public access. I invite you to explore the project on GitHub, and the live link is also on the GitHub in the Netlify format. Thank you for everyone.